A very, very good evening. Welcome back here onto my YouTube channel. Arunava Chaudhuri here on Arunfoot. I look forward to another hopefully interesting session in regard to talking Indian football and talking, of course, anything Indian football. It's as I've mentioned today, an open session, so anyone and everyone can ask his or her questions, queries that they have. So therefore, I'm looking forward to it. Let's get the whole thing started. Let's have a healthy debate on Indian football. And Suraj is asking, "Hello, sir. How are you?" Thank you, Suraj. I'm doing fine. I hope that wherever you are, you're doing fine as well. And uh, Jen Julian, good evening, Arnav, sir. Also, Jen Julian, good evening from my side to you as well. Welcome, guys. Those of you who are joining in, let's talk. And Kumar is also back. Mr. Last was busy with some other things. Good to see you back as well, Kumar. So let's talk Indian football tonight. As I said, today is a little bit more generic than usual. That we will be open to everything again, even though yesterday also I tried to answer all your queries or try to give you my opinions on things, and therefore let's make it as interactive as we can and try and discuss as many topics as we can. That's going to be, so to say, the challenge today, and talk about what's all happening in Indian football. There's a lot of things happening at the moment. Yeah, that's better. It's a lot of things happening here and there, and and let's talk about things, be it national team, be it potential transfers, be it what's happening in the background. I think all of that is always very interesting to speak about and see, and hope that we can sort of channelize things in the right direction. That's going to be interesting. Of course, those of you in the last few days have been also doing certain stories on the channel in regard to what's happening with transfers and other things, and started last week. Started actually a week ago, looking into Mohun Bagan as a topic of marquee signings, and then East Bengal. Are they just looking to fix some positions, or are they looking to really rebuild the squad? What's next for Kerala Blasters? What's Peter Kratky? What are Mumbai City FC planning? Then, of course, the general question, will FSTL extend their contract with the AFF, yes or no? And of course, earlier today, if you haven't seen it, have a look at it, in the question of, will Apuya stay or leave Mumbai City, which I find a very, very interesting and intriguing question, because, I think Apuya has been crucial to Mumbai City, and in the last couple of seasons, and would be interesting to see if he actually decides to stay in Mumbai, or if he decides to move on. So it's going to be an interesting one to see what really happens on that front. So that's why, guys, those of you who are watching, listening, throw me your questions, and let's speak about things Indian football. I wanted to pick out something. Just one second. Let me check if I can pick that out. What did I want to pick out? I had something to pick out which I want to speak about today, which I found very, very good. So the AFF Development Committee had an online meeting today, and a virtual meeting, as they call it, to discuss steps forward. The statement comes from Mr. Avijit Paul, who is the chairman of the committee, and I just wanted to quote him, where he says, this is the first development committee meeting of the 24-25 financial year in the AFF. Ever since the development committee was formed, the states and the AFF have been working hand in hand for the development of the game across the country. With the help of AFF, the states have succeeded in increasing activities of the game throughout the year. We hope to continue in the same vein too. Okay, and there, it's it says this: the committee has recommended that each state will have to organize a minimum of 4 events in the year for the utilization of funds provided by the AFF. These 4 events should include at least one tournament each for junior boys and girls. The committee also recommended the use of CMS to monitor for all these events. It said that a new set of rules should be made for the smooth utilization of development funds and should be submitted to the executive committee for its approval. And I think that's a very, very positive step, in my opinion, that the AFF has taken this. So, accountability would be interesting to see. Uh, you know, so let's wait and see. But I think it's a positive step. You know, let's see what happens, and then. But I think it's a positive step by the AFF. Prasenjit asked, if the AFF doesn't qualify for ASA2, will they play an AFC Challenge League? The Bangladesh, Maldives, Laos clubs will play. Can we expect some transfers there for many clubs? Prasenjit, the first question is, if they lose in the playoffs, will they get a slot in the Challenge Cup? Challenge League, sorry. And therefore, to me, that's a question which can't be answered because the AFC has not clarified on that point. So therefore, we'll have to wait a little bit more. 1 second. This is that to me. So therefore, for me, I hope that things will be sorted soon. But so far, it's not clear if it's a 1+1, so to say. Mohun Bagan, as league winners, have qualified for the group stage of the ASCL2. East Bengal, as the cup winners, play in the qualifiers of ACL2, and if they don't make it, it's not clear if if they are gonna be able to play in in the third tier, which then would be the AFC Challenge League. So that clarification still hasn't come from the AFC. Kumar, so now does the AFC contract should be sorted this year? Can it be sorted next year? See, the point to me is the earlier the better. So we know where the journey is going for AFF, for FSL, and for Indian football. So for me, it's very, very clear that the earlier this contract issue is settled, and be it extended or be it said, listen, you know what, we don't want to continue. We're looking for a new partner, or you have a new partner ready, which I don't see at the moment, but that could be a possibility. Therefore, for me, it's very, very clear that the FSDL contract should be handled. Again, you still have next year, but it would be better to avoid to try and take this contract to the final year, because I think a lot needs to be discussed and talked about. But at the moment, nothing is clear. So therefore, again, if you've not, those of you, I did a little video on that yesterday on Arunfoot. Have a look at it and enjoy that as an explanation. Second report has come from KL now that Punjab has signed Ninthoy, who's free from the contract. Yeah, Ninthoy, I've also heard that he had offers for multiple clubs, but it looks likely that Punjab FC will make him one of their signings. They've already have Vinit Rai, who they've been able to convince, but it looks like that Ninthoy is the second player, so to say, confirmed unofficially in the transfer rumor mill that he's going to join them. Ginger says, I saw Chankta today. Why hasn't he joined the camp? I don't know. He's supposed to join, or not he, but the other boys are supposed to, so therefore, I would have thought he should be on his way today. I don't know. Maybe you saw him. Maybe he's on his way from Aizawl to Bhubaneswar, because the players are supposed to join today. Those who were part of the ISL final between Mohun Bagan Supergiant and Mumbai City FC. Debru says Mumbai has to undergo complete squad review and get no incoming news out there except Brandon and Nofal. Debru, I think the point here is that certain clubs spread news or make news available, or agents make news available, others don't. I think the first question that I raised also in a video which I did earlier this week. The question of is Mumbai City FC in the need of a revamp, or what Peter Kratky is willing to do. I think that certain players who've been linked with a move away from Mumbai City might potentially stay at Mumbai City. So that's one of the discussion points, I guess, that they're going to come up with is that not all players who have been linked with a move away from Mumbai City will actually in the end move away from Mumbai City. So that's another reality. So therefore, let's wait and see what actually happens, and we will have to wait and see what comes out of that. So I'm waiting for that. But I know that there are other players joining. Other players are joining Mumbai City as well in the summer. Anurag, hi from my side as well. Welcome back. U20 team was selected after the National Football Championship going on. Yeah, we should have conducted this round before. Now we see Vietnam, China, Korea, Uzbek playing each other, but our team is not ready. But Sanjit, the question is, how many of the players who are playing the National Football Championship are going to be picked for the for an India under 20 team, or will they come from others? So therefore, I think the AFF was in a situation of wanting to finish off these tournaments in this calendar year 23-24, which finishes on the 31st of May. And therefore, hopefully, they will pick up players from there and elsewhere, and then they'll be putting a team together to see. Monik says, rather than targeting Apuya, people should try their best for Jiteshwar Singh. Isn't that a wiser decision? Mainak, Apuya and East Bengal, I think, is a hoax. I don't think that East Bengal, seriously, even if they targeted Apuya, do you think Apuya would join East Bengal? Let's be honest about that. So therefore, the question is, again, there are a lot of people who are these days, be it classic newspapers, be it online mediums, influencers, social media guys, people on Twitter, hitting out with transfer rumors. So therefore, I don't see Apuya being a target. Jiteshwar, I think East Bengal has tried. I don't know if that is realistic because it's not clear. I think it depends all on if Chennai wants to release Jiteshwar, and if they release him, is East Bengal a target for him, or might he look at other clubs as well? So therefore, that's the point, right? Who are the targets, and are the targets realistic targets? So that's going to be the challenge that is there at the moment. There was any hint who are those players joining Mumbai? No, I've just heard rumors, and I said as long as there are rumors and nothing per se confirmed, I will not throw around names as being done by others. So therefore, let's wait and see. Prasenjit, who should be selected between David, Jitin, Parthiv for final squad according to you? Prasenjit, it's very difficult for me to sit here in Germany and say this player. For me, to say that, because I think for that, be it me, be it you, be it others, we would need to have been there and see the training. India's having a month-long camp, so it would be interesting to see how David, how Jitin, how Parthiv showcase themselves. I would, and then make a decision. To me, is these three are talented players. The question is, are they ready for international football? That's another question. So if I look at the three names, without having seen the training, I would say Parthiv would be most probably the favorite. But again, it also depends on who does T-Much like, who does, who's showing himself in the camp, good form, and therefore will be interesting to see. Lakshmi Narayanan asked Chennai FC foreign players transfer news except Chima and Elsinho. Again, Chima and Elsinho have been linked. Could be. I think Owen Coyle is trying to look at players in the lower tiers in England, maybe smaller teams from the Scottish Premier League. There's no name that I can throw at you at the moment, but I know that Owen Coyle is trying to play his magic again. I mean, last season he was able to get Ryan Edwards and Connor Shields, amongst others, and therefore, yeah, I think he's trying to find the right fit for his system and for his team. Kumar Reddy says another why can have a separate body for all clubs in India like La Liga, which has voting powers. I think this club structure in India is different than it is in Spain or it is in Europe. We are more of an structure which is there in North America and Australia, for example, with the A League. So therefore, again, you know, so for me is something which is structured differently. So the structure is different between our football and football over there, and yeah. But again, the clubs have a bigger role to play. I think that's the other side of things, and they need to find solutions to that. Shoma asks Arunava, any inside news about FSL relations with current AFF regime, what they're planning in future? Shoma, if you've not seen, I'm advising you guys again. I'll just post the link as well if you want. I had spoken about, you know, what is, so to say, the current situation between AFF and FSDL and the risk to the whole thing. I think if you ask me, in this current situation, I see nobody coming forward and taking over the rights of the AFF. I think that should be clearly stated, and you know, and that's I think the biggest challenge in this whole situation, because you know, for me, if you have alternatives, then you can discuss. You can look at the alternatives, then you can discuss the alternatives. But to me, at the moment, I don't see the alternatives to FSDL who could potentially take over the rights of the AFF and then manage those and try to commercialize it. And therefore, I think, and also there's the risk, of course, when it comes to the ISL. You know, does the ISL continue if FSDL pulls out? So these are all questions to be asked, and they're not being asked. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see. So at the moment, there is nothing to be said. Driga Kratos, hi from my side as well. Or hello, you're saying, and hi and welcome as well. To me, very clearly, this is something where I think we there are these dangers, and again, I try to highlight them. Others don't want to talk about them, but I try and highlight them. That what we need to work towards and try and do to improve Indian football, and the challenges ahead. You know, and again, to me, is that it's something, and you know, Classic Gaming saying Shaji said FSL won't pull out as they have heavily invested. I don't believe it. If Shaji is saying that, that's his opinion, but the risk is certainly there that FSL could pull out. That's the reality. I've done a video on it, very clearly stating, you know, what are the risks, what could happen, and if FSL pull out, then potentially there is no ISL, and if there's no ISL, then club football, you know, implodes. You know, that's a reality with which we need to, if we like it or not, we have to think about, and therefore that's something which I feel is dangerous, but yeah, is there, and then we'll have to wait and see how we survive. So therefore, you know, let's wait and see. Driga asks, do you really think that India can beat Kuwait in a realistic way? See, I said that yesterday when someone asked me, football, the game started 0-0. Yeah. To me, India-Kuwait starts at 0-0. India's having a month-long camp. If the players want to, they are better than what they've performed in the last few matches, especially that loss to Afghanistan. I think that was one of the worst performances I've seen from an Indian team in the recent past. So therefore, realistically, yes, we're playing at home. Realistically, we can beat Kuwait. But given the circumstances, that makes it a little bit more complex and a little more complicated. So therefore, I think I don't know what to think, to be very honest. I honestly don't know. Normally, I have a feeling or a hunch or a gut feeling, even when this camp start. But I have not had a good feeling with Uh, uh, so therefore, um, it's a difficult one, and uh, so therefore we'll have to wait and see what happens. Someone asking what exactly happened with the CAFA scam in AFF. I don't know why people are calling it the CAFA scam. There was just an MOU signed between AFF, uh, uh, and an MOU was signed, and we are not being invited. It's our bad luck. Most probably, in CAFA, they're thinking India is not good enough at the moment to be invited. So I don't know where the scam is, because I don't know. There is no financial transaction. Everyone is sensationalizing things also these days. So be careful when people say these things. It's yeah. It should help us. It should enable us to be sending teams, especially boys, and girls national teams, the under 16, under 17s, or even the under 20s. But they don't see us that good. That's a problem, I guess. Prasanjit says, yes, if ever was incredible. If this level football happens at youth level consistently, then surely future is bright. Hope this continues. Well, if the level at RFDL is good, again, some of the boys are regular players in the ISL, so that does bode well on one side, but on the other side, the competitions need to be throughout the season and not just for 2.5, 3 months. I think these are the challenges in Indian football that we need to work on, that these competitions are longer and more extended, and that we are able to get more out of these. I think that's the challenge at the moment. That's a game. How about ISL and I-League merged together? This debate of mergers is a long time. Your thoughts? There is no merging of the leagues. It was just that it was streamlined through the FIFA and AFC roadmap, which said ISL becomes top tier, I-League is then the second tier, and then you've got I-League 2, I-League 3 now below that, and then your local leagues. So from that perspective, there is no merger. It is more of a aligning of the pyramid of club football league structure that we have in India. So therefore, that's a challenge in itself. So therefore, for me, that has happened. The only thing that is pending now, to say in the long run, is when does relegation from the ISL start? But otherwise, the so-called league merger, or the merger into one pyramid structure, has already happened in Indian football. That happened a while back. Jerry says, if we see Qatar, we don't have any chance. It's a reality. We can only defend, and attack and counter, but it's all up to the coach how he wants to approach the match. If you don't have tactics, then it's done. I think Qatar, to me, I'm not talking about the Qatar match, because the Qatar for me is way too good for us. Way, way, way too good for us. So therefore, for me, our focus needs to be on Kuwait. If we win Kuwait, then we are in the third round. If we don't beat Kuwait, we'll have to see what happens. But to me, that's the key, if we want to talk about those matches. Just 1 second, just have a sip. Also, those of you who are watching, request, if you haven't subscribed to arunfoot, please do. So therefore, if you haven't, please subscribe to arunfoot, and let's grow the community. Driga says, if there's some big problems in federation, how can a federation can't run the youth national team, which is very important to play national matches together? Otherwise, how can a player can come from? Okay. So for me, to me, youth development is core, in the work of a federation. It's the core thing that they need to do. And to me, the federation structure needs to be there. Satya at the moment is trying to structure the system in a better way. I think that there's and so therefore for me, that's the challenge that the AFF has. I think pre-COVID, the structure, they were building the structure, and the structure looked okay, needed a little tweaking and additions, and now, and so therefore for me, let's wait and see where it is. Rahul is busy with stuff with Sports Kabaddi, and again we were doing the regulars together. Hope to be doing that, but again our timings have not aligned, so therefore Hiran has been doing his shows a little earlier. I'm doing it a little later. Sports Kabaddi has been also doing stuff on IPL and other, so therefore there are multi-sports platforms, so therefore we hopefully will be doing more together in the coming weeks. Yeah. Ishan says, sir, if possible, please raise the issue of restriction of foreigners in AFC tournaments. How does no restriction help Asia? 3+1 was a good rule. It was, it is in the sense of it was wanted by a lot of clubs across Asia, and you already had, the rules 3+1 was moved to 6, and now they're removing it altogether in the Champions League. But you can have you're going to have 8 in the ACL2, and then 6 in the Challenge League. So therefore, you're having some of that, and it'll be interesting to see how it evolves. Really, I think the 3+1 rule, yes, was good on an Asian context. I think in the Indian context as well. But there are again rule changes coming, and we'll have to live with it. Again, I think India has little to no say in what these rules are from the AFC. I think the continental rules are very, very clear on what all is happening. Right, 1 second. This is Prasenjit says, hope Dempo does well in I-League this season. If they do well, we will see their fans coming to stadium. The viewership of I-League will improve. Prasenjit, let's I have to break some of the myths, right? Even in the NFL and I-League days, clubs like Dempo and Salgaocar, Churchill didn't have many fans. FC Goa has had more fans than these clubs in general. So therefore, for me, for me is something that, that there are realities of Indian football that a lot of people don't seem to know and don't seem to remember also. That there are clubs, yes, who've been very successful, but have they been filling stadiums? Very few. East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, Mohammedan were the exceptions. Even FC Cochin at the start, Viva Kerala at the start, but all of them sort of fizzled out. So there are some brutal realities of it wasn't better in the past, Kumar says, Indian football YouTuber who does content on European football. He mentioned in the video that he went to Punjab match in Delhi. They put Instagram, people asking where match. Again, Kumar, to me is very simple. If people want to know, but if you just Google it, if you Google ISL match plan, you'll find it. I don't understand if people want to find something in today's world with platforms like Google. You will find anything and everything in 5 seconds. Not in 5 seconds, 3 seconds. So this is, for me, is if people don't want to go, they don't want to go. But it's all easily accessible. So, yeah. Classic Gaming say, Anna, why aren't there any promising elite product from Reliance Young Champs? It's been 10 years now. Nemir was so up back then, but now he's nowhere to be seen. The Young Champs program has brought out a few players. I think Mohamed Sanan is a good example. Ayush Chikara is another example. But again, their competition, they've been mainly playing within India. So they're going to be better than the others are. But are they really good? We have a talent development problem, and Reliance themselves will not be able to, is not gonna change it. So why football coaching in India is expensive compared to European countries? Nishant, who says that? Who says that? In Europe, it's also not cheap. If you want to do your licenses, you have to pay for it. And you have to, go here, go there, travel. It's not cheap in Europe. So if anyone says that, sorry, wrong information. Jigga says if FSDL pull out, then it's all over because we already know that how everyone manages I-League, they can't run I-League properly, worst timings of matches and timings, worst broadcast and quality. We'll have to see, where this all goes. But at the moment, but let's not discuss this. Can we have a Twitter space in the future? It has been a long time since we had a Twitter space. Yeah, Kumar, let's try and plan something. But I've been busy and especially over the weekends, and the Euros are coming up, so I don't know yet if and how my timings are going. If AFC going to allow 11 foreigners in playing 11 upcoming, is yes. In the Champions League, they will be allowing 11 foreigners in the starting 11. Yep, that's what I know ISL, Archer says, I know ISL had its fair share of problems, but I begin following it because of ISL. I think of the total Indian football fans, half of them are because of ISL. Losing FSTL would be, I think, catastrophic, maybe is what you mean. To me, I think that is something that a lot of people forget, right? Some of the people who are, have been following football for a long time, people who have been football purists forget that the ISL, not everything is worked out. I think there are areas where the ISL can and needs to improve. But on the other side, there are things that the ISL has done over the last 10 years, which has improved the football. If you look at the broadcast of the ISL, it's top class, even though they've cut down again, but still it's much, much better than what you see in the I-League. General stadium experience has improved. The ground conditions have improved. Most teams have their own training facilities. Players stay in 5-star, travel properly by plane. All these, a lot of small little things, small details have improved. And that is something which the ISL has brought. So while we see Saudi clubs paying high salaries and thus attracting top players, has their football also improved with it? Ishan, that's a good question. Just think about it. Even before attracting the big players, or they have been actually attracting players of a certain repute over the last 5, 7, maybe 10 years. And to me is the Saudis beat Argentina in the last World Cup. They were the only team to beat Argentina in that World Cup. So therefore, for me, the Saudis have been a formidable Asian side, and I think that their football has improved and is improving, and they have got quality. They already had quality, and their quality will get better, in my opinion. Jacob says India is building a very strong team. If we play them, we will be easily. Their players are much of Dutch, and they are creating super team. The Federation Series. That's what they're doing. To me, Indonesia, the leadership is right. I think the leadership has to be strong, and the leadership is there. And to me, that is something which where we have to be honest to ourselves that football cannot, football can only grow in a country like India if you've got the right leadership. In Indonesia, it starts that the sports minister is a very rich individual who is football crazy, and he spends money on football, and the federation is doing its stuff. That is what we need. We need proactiveness. We don't need people who say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and don't actually deliver. Dan I says K-League and J-League clubs are beating Arab clubs. This is the reason why they want to increase foreign player. Japan clubs playing with 9 to 10 Japanese players in AFC Champions League. That is, yes, that's certainly one of the reasons. But they've not always lost. That Al Hilal, the most successful club in the Champions League. and it's not a West Asian thing. The East Asian clubs also wanted more players. So therefore, um, yeah. Um, so therefore, for me, is something which is coming, and I'm not stopping it. You're not stopping it. Nobody's stopping it, right? So therefore, will be very interesting to see how it really turns out. Interesting times, I would say, when it comes to Indian football, Asian football. Sorry, not Indian football. Ishana, sir, how do you think we should inspire more of our friends to watch Indian football since there's a clear gap in level? Is patriotism our best bet? To me, I think for people to understand and say, listen, just follow football, follow the game. Don't get into it's good, it's bad, and all. I think again, I watch a lot of Bundesliga. I've been watching a lot of Premier League this season. The Premier League has not convinced me. Sorry, I will. It's not. I'm more interested in the ISL. I'm more hooked to it. And if you can get people hooked to it somehow, to Indian football, we've had some very entertainment and interesting games, especially in the playoffs. To me, patriotism for the national team, yes, but also saying you have to support a team, a club, a league, a national team in success and also especially in failure. I think that's the biggest challenge for Indian football fans, right? Or people you're trying to convert to be at least following on and off. So therefore, that'll be interesting to see. Classic gaming thoughts on Bundesliga dream project, something positive at grassroots. They're providing 14 days camp in Germany. It's a good exposure for the kids, nothing more, nothing less. It's a little PR also for the Bundesliga. So yeah, no one's going to get a contract in Germany, but at least they're going to go there, play some football, experience what German football is about, what the Bundesliga is about. If these kids then stick to football, want to be professionals, then you've been successful. Shogot asks how the football of India can compete the cricket of India. Shogot, I think the mistake is when we say football wants to compete with cricket. In India of 2024, football cannot compete with cricket, period. No other sport in India can compete with cricket. Cricket is so big, so huge, and football is so small compared to that football cannot. India needs to evolve and develop into a multi-sports country, like many countries are around the world. Be it in America, be it England, the UK, be it here Germany. Most European countries are that. Look at South Africa. Look at Australia. They support multiple sports. It's not just one sport for them. So therefore, for me, let cricket be what it is. Cricket is huge in India. It's massive. Without India, cricket would be an amateur sport. But to me, it's very, very clear. To me, it's very, very clear that football at this stage cannot compete. Yeah, cannot compete with cricket, and we shouldn't. To me, very, very should. It just doesn't make sense. So for a lot of us young fans, when ISL started, we used to mock it, thinking it's a gimmick with names like Electrical Kolkata, etc. But we've started falling in love with it over the years. So Ishan, again, if it's worked for you, then that's a positive example. And that to me is, I think, a very, very positive sign, good sign that you are following the game and you're joining these conversations. To me, that's a positive. That's a positive. And we need more people to follow. That's why, again, those of you who've not subscribed, do subscribe to Arunfoot here on YouTube and on my other social medias. Let's grow the community. Let more people know that we exist, that we're talking about these things on a regular basis. So therefore, that's my only request that I can make to you guys. Classic gaming for me, UAE League, or should I say clubs have done better than Saudi. We also defeated the mighty Al Hilal. It's an on and off, but overall, to me, is the Saudi Pro League is much stronger. has been much, much stronger than the UAE Pro League or the UAE Gulf League that they have over there. So therefore, yeah, that's something. Archer says, do you think I listen to the fans? Because I think they do, though to a small degree, but they do, for example, calling I-League players to the camp, though it's fan pleasing. I don't think the AFF, and let's say even if I was in a position of the AFF, I would not do fan pleasing. I would take decisions which are right and which are in the best interest of Indian football. And if you take those decisions, they might be right, they might be wrong, but you're trying to take knowledgeable decisions. And again, as important as fans are, without fans, football is nothing. But do fans really understand everything? You know, you know, and again, it's to me is it makes no sense to try and push through. And yes, Igor Stimac has called up players, but I guess that's Igor Stimac trying to please the fans more than the AFF. The AFF has to take a call, has to take decisions which might not be to the liking of the fans, you know. And but yeah, you know, yeah, that's going to be very, very key. Otaro, will Manpreet Sakara be the first player of Indian origin to play in the Euros if he's selected for Austria? I don't think so. If I'm not wrong, Arun Winter played the Euros, and I think Vikash Dovaso played in the early 2000s. He might have also played. So therefore, he surely is not the first, but he's one of very few. He would join an elite club of Indian origin players to be playing at the Euros. And yeah, that would be a huge achievement, not only for Manpreet, but also I think for us who follow, you know. So therefore, yeah, that's something. How many football stadium projects are currently ongoing in India? Classic gaming, as such, stadiums that I know about, there are some smaller venues which are being built, but not anything big at the moment. But there are a few, you know, small football specific grounds being built with stands here, stands there, something, you know, capacity, let's say 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So therefore, that is something. Ishan said, sir, would you agree that Vietnam has been on a downward trajectory in the last year or so from doing so well in World Cup qualifiers to current performance World Cup AFC Asian Cup? See, Ishan, development is not something which is one way and it's up. And one or two results can totally change the way you evolve and develop. You know, so for me it's not so easy. So for me, it's very, very important to remember Vietnam has come a long way from where they were. Therefore, to me, is their football is still developing, be it men's and be it women's. And it's not always, the trajectory is not, you know, just it just doesn't go up like this. You know, it also, you know, it has its bumps, ups and downs, and therefore that, I guess, it's happening. So therefore, yeah, that's the reality, I think. Archer says, I don't think we are good at cricket either. It's just that cricket is the only sport in country that has been commercially successful. Archer, I think I you know, the difference is that in cricket, at least some of the biggest players in the world are Indians, and the best players in the game play in the IPL. And that per se happens, yeah, maybe in the one or the other sport, but again, they are so small that nobody bothers about them. And for me, that's the reason why I would say, if we are honest, cricket is as big as it is, you know, and football is as small as it is. And the other sports are even smaller than that. So that's a reality of India of today. Ishan asked, just 1 second, I just have to do something. I'll keep on talking, just 1 second, I'll be back. Do you think the exposure trips make financial sense for India considering our financial constraints? I think exposure trips make sense. I think now the government needs to proactively work, the AFF needs to proactively work with the government to try and find means and ways of funding exposure trips for especially the youth national teams. Our partnerships which you have last season, we were helped by Atletico Madrid and by the German Bundesliga for our under-17s for an exposure trip to Spain and to Germany. So these kind of relationships need to be leveraged by the AFF to make it possible for our youth teams to go. If they aren't able to leverage those relationships, if they aren't able to leverage relationships with the government, post election, I think it's going to be very difficult, because we've seen that the AFF is looking at every area of Indian football and trying to reduce the cost, and that is something which is very tricky, very difficult for the federation. But they're trying to do it in the best possible way, because the AFF has to live within its means. If they have a certain budget of X crores, they have to run the federation in that budget of X crores, and that's the biggest challenge that they have. And it's not easy for the AFF, but the AFF needs to try and fulfill its obligations, financial obligations to its vendors, to everyone who's involved, pay salaries to its staff, to the coaches, whoever is involved, but also try and find ways of organizing camps, organizing matches. And that's something which is going to be very, very crucial for the federation in the midterm. And therefore, again, if I go back, the relationship with FSDL, if FSDL tomorrow stops paying the 50 crores they're doing, then the AFF is close to shutting down, because it can't run the system. The costs have gone up. The AFF has become quite a big beast in that way. They cannot run the system. So those are basic challenges at the moment, and therefore I would say that's going to be very, very tough on the football ecosystem. But that's the only way that the AFF can do it. But if you want to ask me on the exposure trips, we need exposure trips for our kids, because the competition that they play with in India, yeah, it's there, but it's not at a level where you say, you're playing teams, you're playing club sides, who are in a position, the competition is tough enough, high enough to be able to try and take things forward. Ishan answers Archana, yeah, that's one observation. Dakna said, why there's a quota for Southeast Asian player in J League? Southeast Asia is Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore. This gives them better stage to perform at high level. Because the J League is trying to market itself in that market. Very, very simple. So by getting players from that region, so therefore that's something, and therefore so for me, at the moment, it's a win-win, I think, for both sides, with players from Southeast Asia getting exposure in J League and the J League promoting itself in that region. Ishan, so there was some news floating around that Brandon is injured. Is it true? Yes, Brandon is injured. I don't know what the status is at the moment, but he didn't train in the first few days that the India camp has started. That's one of the other things. Then we're getting very limited news. In the past, we used to sort of get a daily update on what's happening, what's not happening. That's also I find that very, very disappointing, that we're not being kept up to date on what's happening in and around the national team. I think that's something which I at least would have liked to have seen, on a regular basis. But again, maybe I'm asking too much in today's world, and that we're kept up to date on what's happening in and around the national team. Archana says, what can we do to extract more from disharmony, because their administration looks interested in developing other sports? I wish there were similar things in football like they did in hockey. That's something. Let's hope. Let's see what happens. But yeah, those are realities at the moment. Pratik asks, any idea what's any idea what's PMO and Indian Sports Minister is doing to improve AFF? They certainly know what's going on in Indian football. The PMO and the Sports Minister at the moment have other concerns, because it's Lok Sabha elections. And do they know what's happening in Indian football? That would be the first question. And to improve Indian football, to improve AFF, I think the first thing that the government can do is give better funding. That would be very important. Why not e-football give interviews regularly? Pratik, sorry, I don't know why. It's a question, and so therefore, let's see what happens. But the players are indirectly accessible because they post their stuff on their own social medias. That didn't happen in the past, but interviews is something which Indian footballers give here and there, but not too many. Classic Gaming, when can we expect a City Football Group Academy in Mumbai similar to Melbourne City? Honestly, I wouldn't know at the moment. At least I know of no plans that there could, would, and should be an academy like in Melbourne or like the one in New York in Mumbai. So that's something which at the moment could be happening in the future, but yeah, let's wait and see. Ishan sir, are there any young Indian players playing abroad at a decent level that you're aware of? If so, please share it. No, Ishan, there are no. Som Kumar is, I guess, the one that we've heard about. But again, Indian players to go abroad is not so easy. Minors cannot be transferred, and Indian players in pro contracts. So therefore, yeah, that's something which, yeah, very few. Some of them go abroad. A lot of them go abroad with the financial help of parents and others. But yeah, those are the realities. Navneet, hi Navneet. A lot of players getting injured this season due to more games being played this season. Maybe, yeah, that's something. The season has grown exponentially, and our players. And again, fitness is a key area. Travel, the weather has become a problem. If we look at especially those matches in April, May. So therefore, injuries are and we have a lot more injuries, but a lot of more injuries also happened not because of sort of those are not muscular injuries or something. A lot of them were impact injuries in matches. So that was something, and then the question arises: are the players good enough? Not, and very difficult. Isana, does Germany have sports scholarships? Is it a good model for India? Germany, there are potentially sports scholarships, but that's more for Olympic sports. But it's government driven, and I don't know if it's a model for India. I think India needs to evolve and develop its own, yeah, that's something which I don't think India can copy. Archana, I meant Odisha government. Did you know Odisha CM was once a hockey goalkeeper, and look how they brought back a sport from the dead to win a medal in Olympics? Yeah, Archana. But again, hockey is relatively easy, right? How many nations are playing hockey? Proper hockey, right? 5, 7, 10. If you want to be, then you say 12, 16. In football, there are 211 nations who play football. So you can't replicate something which you've done in another sport. I think when you want to be successful in football, we have to evolve and develop football in its own little way. That is the biggest challenge, and that is something which is difficult, but hopefully doable. Raj, I think the players are purposely getting injured so the ego can be sacked. No, there are real injuries, and I think none of the players would like to be rather injured and sit out than rather play. So therefore, Akash Mishra is an ACL, so that's something which you can't fake. And those again, there are realities that we have in Indian football. I hear again and again a lot of so-called conspiracies as well. Oh, this is happening, that's happening, this is happening, this is happening. But the players are, are they giving their best? Sometimes maybe not, but they're not faking things to avoid stuff. I don't think so. So that's that. And yeah, that's one thing. Again, a reminder: those of you who have not subscribed to arunfoot, please, help me get towards that 1K mark that I'm here on YouTube, but also subscribe to my other channels, be it on Twitter or X as it's called. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Threads, visit arunfoot.com. So please do that. Thanks a lot. Always for your support. As always, the target, it's moving into the picture. Ishan says, how does Japan develop its players? Japan is one of the best technically sound players in the world. Japan is one of the most organized countries in the world. It's not just that they are, that they're not just good in a sport, they're good in multiple sports. They have a very strong sports culture in schools. The school sports is strong. School football is very, very strong in Japan or Korea, for example. And there are people who have worked on the basic, so therefore, they've developed, they had a plan when they started the J League in the 90s. They have given exposure to their players abroad. Their best players play in Europe. So therefore, their developed ecosystem is a different one than what we have in India. Do you think we should look at 12 stadiums and hill stations so that we could play matches in April, May over there? Actually, the point is the maintenance is an issue. My friends in Aizawl have been playing on artificial turf pitches, and what's the quality problem here, there? It's an issue. So therefore, yeah, those are things which need to be looked at. Classic games says people don't understand cricket and hockey don't require that much of effort. Football is the toughest. India not doing good in football shows them record of India overall. Hard, but yeah, classic gaming. You have a point over there, which the thing is, hockey individually requires a lot of effort, but again, not many countries play it, and football is a different beast, and that's I think the difference. Archana Das, the cricket ground, which is relatively colder than other stadiums. Yeah, again, Archana, we have stadiums. I think you see even in the winters, in the I League, Real Kashmir have an advantage. Teams have to go to Real Kashmir, play in Kashmir. For example, Kukuram Kerala went from over 30 plus to nearly 0 degrees. So that's a difficulty. What's the fact the player not comfortable ego like Apuya had in the past, or maybe still? Raj, the point here is. It's something that that the players have a problem with the coach, I think is very evident. Yes, but you said that they fake injuries, and that factually is not true. Pratik says, you said lots of time we Indians need to go out of America to get better, but how we should structure the plan? I think it's every individual. It depends on the player. They can't have a overall holistic plan and do it. Again, if a rich individual says, "Listen, I'm going to put money on the table and do something," So therefore, to me, is that's something that's something that we need to look at. Now, this is said to hear that Nate spoke about Indian E1 player to go out and do well. Neeraj Chopra wins the medal and throw. There are more Indians in javelin throw. Well, New Taylor said it now. I said it on the night of India playing Bayern Munich on the 9th of Jan 2012. At the time, I gave Spiegel, which is one of the biggest German magazines, an interview, and I said India is a potentially a gold mine, and you need to find the Beckham, India's Beckham, who regularly plays in a top-tier league, and then everything will fall in place. Neil saying the same thing, and I agree with it. I agree with him, and he's right. And the point now is for us: can we find those players with whom, who are good enough to go outside of India to compete and be competitive and showcase Indian talent to the world? That's the point. Should players like Vishnu play in development league? One player is changing the game and look opposition clueless. Shyam, yeah, it is sort of it's difficult because I said that last season as well when Kian Nasiri and others were playing. So there needs to be some sort of restriction if you've had a certain number of minutes or games for teams in the ISL that you don't play the development league. I think there needs to be a rule because I think it's about development and these guys. But again, for these guys who are, the Vishnus, the the Shines, it's also about getting match time and exposure. And then on the other side, this is the best exposure they're going to get outside of the ISL, So, yeah, it's a mixed thing. Classic, around every developed country are doing good in multiple sports. That shows that they're called developed. Yeah, but then you have, I don't know, African countries are doing good, let's say in football or in athletics. It doesn't always have to be, developed countries. With us, Federation Cup or Super Cup next season, we'll have a cup. I don't know under what name, So that's the thing. What do you think of football in Manipur? And today won the 22nd Women's National Championship. Manipur is one of the hotbeds of talent in Indian football, Gautam. It has been, it is, men's and women's, and that was the case, is the case. So, yeah. Shreyam Neil Taylor, when came to Kolkata due to Bengal to visit Kolkata Maidan 10 years ago, the Maidan was a shambolic stage and it was low, but after 10 years developed in Kolkata. Shreyam, no, I will not say that. If you look at the Maidan, here and there, yes. If you would have said Indian football, I agree. A lot of things have happened in 10 years, but the Kolkata Maidan mainly, it looks a little swanky and better, but the grounds are not better. That's the key. Is the seating better in the Maidans? No, it's not. So how, so therefore for me that doesn't work. A Federation Cup will run simultaneously, trigger, that's the plan, But this is considering majority of middle class people who truly want to do something in football, what's there for these players? See, no risk, no fun. A lot of players around the world, be it in Africa, be it in South America, Central America, even in Europe, a lot of, forget middle class, lower class, poor kids risk their career. And so therefore to me, yeah. So therefore for me, there's nothing that can be done. Navneet, on the Apuya rumors to Kolkata clubs, I'm a bit disappointed as I hoped he would have gone abroad to one of their sister clubs. Maybe, Navneet, it's rumors. So Apuya at the moment is not going to Kolkata. On behalf of Indian football fans, you should ask Changte to consider going to Lomel, SK, second division, anywhere. Should definitely consider it. Please do it. Again, it's Changte's decision, and it's if CFG wants to put him there, that's for them to do. Do you think the franchise concept in Indian football is not working? Atunu, I then would say, is the club concept in Indian football working? Then commercially, no model in Indian football has worked so far. All have failed. If you look at from a financial standpoint, Indian football has failed. But if I look at the franchise model, then I would say, hey, Kerala Blasters, created out of nothing a great fan base. If I look at to me, I look at Mumbai City FC with what they've done, Goa with what they've done. So therefore, to generalize is very, very difficult. Since we don't have any player that is Asian level, can we conclude that all of the academies and none of this doing things right? To say none of them are doing things right would be wrong. I think the point is that the key problem is, Archana, the level of coaching is one key, I would say. The level of competitions and talent development, all of these things, these are key. And that's something that we need to work on. That needs to develop and evolve in Indian football. That's the key. Otherwise, nothing will happen. Sirsinada once said that football is the last standing democratic bastion. One can't cut corners to become world-class team in a few years. A lot of things need to go right. And he is right, So for me, so to me is you can cut corners in the sense of that you can bring in players of origin, and that is the link to Hamza is Hamza Chaudhuri is been trying to get a Bangladesh passport for a while, and he's not the only one there working on a number of players. So yeah, let's see. But sir, Mombag ground is Bengal of green grass, which 10 years ago was muddy pitch, which brought shame to football also, besides Madan main stadium around Kolkata with the like Gitanjali Stadium. Now you brought exactly the wrong example, because Gitanjali is I was there last year and it was a terrible field. The fields grounds are better, yeah. If you would go development around the under 17 World Cup around the ISL, which means the practice grounds at Salt Lake, but most of the grounds on the Maidan are not better. They might look better, but you're not using proper grass. It's not as good as it could be. So therefore, to me, sorry, Shyam, it looks better, but it's we're still Kolkata. Sometimes it's stuck in history. Kolkata loves its history. That's why I love Kolkata as well. But some of the stuff we need. Let's see what happens. So in ISL, the players maybe do everything like crosses and all, but when it comes to national, they're literally not able to pass to own players. What do you think? Raj, the problem sometimes is that the quality of opposition is better. And in the ISL, you depend on your foreigners. So you've got that confidence, uh, 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 you know. So therefore, to me, the foreigners are an influence, and you play with more confidence. And if you've got even 5% less confidence, you will not be able to play it. Instead, Uday says, instead, manage football affairs from Delhi, divided region, and region head report to Delhi AFF House. Could be a model, yeah. Uday, could be a potential model to take Indian football forward. Why not? On the how come African players with no infra, no structure, no money end up in top clubs and Indians don't? Because the scouts go over there, the clubs, individuals have invested in academies over there. They at least their competitions work, right? Our competitions don't work. Our quality is not good enough, and it's not an Indian problem. It's if you look at Asia, most of Asia is not looked at as a talent base by football clubs. So against under National League, Delhi FC scoring 20 goals is a joke right now. Shem, the problem is our structure is not right. We are not, and then the question is, so for me, we need the competitiveness at the local level, and that needs to work somehow. What's the major issue for clubs in India to fail? Even Mumbai City have lower attendances in this year. Pratik, it's overall, Indian club football needs to look at the ways, and the thing is that you need to generate money, and that's the biggest question. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge that you have. It has to become better. And it's not way to fail. I think if finances are sorted out, I think a lot of things would become easier. Do you think other players should follow Dalima Chiva's footsteps? She's pursuing education, you say, I think, and also playing on the side. For women's players, it makes sense. It was not USA, it was Canada where she was. And, you see that Napuya is doing his studies, focusing on his studies, which I think is right. So, yeah, for Indian footballers, it makes sense. Good evening also from my side, Rachit. I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing well as well. Shumula says recently many young Indian players signing abroad. That's a good news for India and also for future. Shumula, which Indian players signed abroad? Could you give me a few names, a few examples? I maybe have not followed it, but I wouldn't know any Indian players of quality who've signed abroad. Prosenjit asks, how is Sandesh Jingan now and when will fit to play? Sandesh is recovering. It's been now nearly 4 months since his injury in the UFC Asian Cup. I guess August, maybe September should be the time when Sandesh could be back on the field. Yopuri, what's going to be the next excuse for Mr. Steamage of the June matches? My guess is players were injured and we need these 2 months camping players. Let's again, Rachid, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. Considering next season founding clubs of ours won't have to pay franchisee, things will sort out. They're paying too much of money. It won't sort itself out. See, Ishan, I don't know, and There are always allegations. Even I was unhappy with the referee decision in that Real Madrid Bayern Munich match. So is it incompetence? Is it, I don't know, match fixing? I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't hope so, but let's see. So since Edmund is now with the India team, so he was supposed to go now to Canada to train with Atletico Ottawa, but he's not signed a contract, right? So he's just given an opportunity to train for 2 weeks because Inter Kashi are a partner club of Atletico Madrid, and Atletico Madrid own Atletico Ottawa. Therefore, he has the opportunity to go to the CPL and train over there, and yeah, and then let's see what happens. Here that Jayesh Rani signed contract extension. Is it true? I've also heard that Jayesh is staying at Mumbai City. If a contract is signed, I don't know yet, but Jayesh Rani is supposed to stay at Mumbai City. If FSL doesn't extend their contract, ISL clubs cut down cost. Does that entice our players to maybe look outside India since the wages will be less inflated? Navneet, the inflation level of our salaries are so high that the system literally needs to collapse for players to go abroad, you know? So I don't see that happen. For a few years, many clubs are working with youth. Are they getting any results? Pratik, some clubs are trying to do things. To me, as a good example is, you know, what Bangalore FC have built in Bellary as a center. You see what FC Goa has built. Kerala Blasters are doing their things. Mumbai City are doing their things. Northeast United are now trying to build stuff. So therefore, yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. So the clubs are trying to do their things. Will selection of under 20 national team be based on national league? Most of the best players clubs were not released. Shrem, I think that the RF Reliance Foundation Development League will be a platform. Maybe the under 20 nationals will be a platform, and then we'll see which players get picked up. So if you become billionaire, what are the steps you would take? Raj, there are so many steps to be taken. I could do an own video on that, what I would do. So, but the general thing I think is the most important thing is leadership, to follow governance, to ensure the structure of football, and ensure that you have a strong commercial partner with who is benefiting from football, and you're benefiting from it as well as a federation, as football, you know, make it commercially viable for all. That's the basic steps that I would work on. Chankti Future can play in A-League. Rachit, I don't think so, because the salaries, and again, the Australian players are coming to India, even though the standard in the A-League is higher than in India. So yeah, so let's see. Yeah. Kashi has already signed Edmund Foot. Yes, they are known. Very, very true. Edmund has been signed from BFC on a long-term contract. So I think it's a very, very good sign that Edmund is staying with Inter Kashi, and they're sending him, as I said, abroad. So therefore, these are small little signs. So hopefully that helps our football as well. Do you think MCFC Academy could be revolutionary with Cranky at the helm? Peter Kratky is the coach of the first team, and with the Indian calendar being the Indian calendar, you have limited time to look at the academy. So therefore, I wouldn't, you know. So let's see what happens over there. Jeff probably, yeah, could be. So when we were having a session of best goalkeeper, best goals, best players team, I'm waiting to try and find a date with Hiren and with Rahul, and then we'll surely be doing something on that and try and find something in regard to those best performances from the last season. Yeah, that's something. The Indian team T-shirt that you are wearing, is it available in the market? No, it's not. It's not even an Indian T-shirt. It's one which I got when I was doing the I-League a while back. So it's not something which is on the market. Reliance Young Champs does not have all age category foreign coaches. I mean, they at least could have spent more money, have good coaches. They're making good players, but not great players. Sham, if you don't have the competition within the system, if they would try and do it better, you need competition. That's the biggest problem. So therefore, yeah, let's see. Gold mine under their feet all the time. The whole Northeast talent should have acquired those talent building academies. Hope they do this from now on. They've built academies. Mizoram has built academies. Manipur has built academies. The coaching is, I think, the biggest problem. Why do every second fan of poker try to be journalists? That too with the conference like Marcus Moore just to go underground when they prove wrong. Yeah, Rachit, that's the thing. Again, Apuya at the moment, no links to Kolkata. Just as a quick update. To be honest, I don't think Changte could survive abroad. I know he's done well in ISL, but I don't think he's there to survive abroad. Archana, I tried to take Changte 5 years ago to Norway. He was training for 2 weeks with Viking Stavanger. Viking Stavanger actually offered him a contract. And knowing Changte a little bit, he's one of those, so therefore, I would say that if Changte is given the chance in the right league at the right level, he will succeed abroad. Pratik says, I remember Dhanujbhai mentioned in the donation that they focus more on the academy than the league. I'm not if you know this. That's an affordable way to buy. Again, it depends on what so therefore, for me, different clubs have different approaches. Some clubs, let's say like a Mohun Bagan approach to on the first team, focus on that, try and win it. Other teams are focusing more on, being a hybrid on doing both. And on the other side, there are teams which are focusing on the academy, and that's the case around the world. Why Mumbai City don't upgrade the stadium as it's among the dedicated football stadium? This will give fans a better experience. Raj, I think the Mumbai Football Arena is one of the better venues. It's just small, and that makes it so special. And Mumbai City is in Bombay. Mumbai City will never be able to build an own ground. I set up Mumbai City in 2014, so I know what I'm talking about, right? I was involved. I was CEO in the first season of the ISL. So therefore, for me, that's one of the best venues. Someone says in our country, 99.9% cricket fans only support loyal football fans like us, and also are still supporting in football after whatever is happening with the national team. Shravan, that's a sad thing, but yeah, that hits it on Ned. And to me, is we need more fans. We need, these conversations which you're having now, more fans need to visit. So how often do you visit India? Would be great to meet you in real. Normally, depending on work, pre-COVID, I was literally traveling twice a month to India. At the moment, my projects are in other parts of the world, so I'm not traveling that much. But I hope to be traveling more in the coming weeks and months back to India. That's your observation. Unknown. Do you think any team will go for Bipin by paying hefty amount of transfer fees? Rachit, it looks like Odisha and Sergio Lobera would like to sort of work again. So it looks likely Bipin could be on his way out from Mumbai City and could be joining Lobera at Odisha FC. That's one of those opportunities which are there. So why didn't Dheeraj Singh's Motherwell move go through? It wasn't good enough at the end. Rachit, Ishan Pandita currently is the most underperforming Indian forward or someone else. I believe Ishan's a very good player, but very underutilizing. Rachit, again, Ishan has to play. And as long as he doesn't play, it doesn't matter where he plays. But Ishan Pandita, and it doesn't matter if it's Ishan Pandita or any other striker or any other player, any other position. If you don't play on a regular basis, so therefore to me is very clear. If you're not playing enough and you're not exposing yourself enough to a high level in regard to match time, you will not be able to improve. So that's that. Everyone watch sports for fun, and Indian football team depression is in every sport fan come when they perform well. That's the problem, right? I think teams need support, especially when they lose, and not when they're winning. I think that's one of the biggest challenges I think Indian sports has, that you have to support your team even in failure. I think that's a big challenge at the moment for Indian football to try and see if if players are supported. So let's wait and see what happens. Who would be the best replacement of Beke in Mumbai? The question is who are you trying to bring in, who you're trying to keep. Mumbai City would, if Rahul Beke is leaving, as a rumor says, supposedly signing with BFC, they would have to look for someone as a new centre back, and to me, then the question arises: who could be that? To me is you know um, to me is good question. They'd have to sign someone, right? I mean, Valpuya could be someone as a wing back, but a centre back, either they have to bring in someone who's experienced. But I don't know. Let's wait and see what happens. Shimona's legend secretary of this one will no longer be there anymore. Will be under construction, as far I heard. Sad, but also reality of India of these days, right? As an Indian, my feelings, Pratik says, are always attached with Indian teams. I never felt same with other countries, but the situation here breaks my heart regularly. Don't know what I can do personally to lift it. I think it's a sad reality, but again, I think most important thing is even in a time of crisis, um, you know, um, and then yeah, it's something which is you need to support your team in wins or in loss, while winning and losing, and especially when they're losing, you need to support it, and so therefore support it more. AFA takes fans for granted, and so fans were not allowed to take water bottles. People are literally standing for tickets when they say, "Why don't people come?" Raj, people did come, right? Even despite this whole water fiasco that's going on. And it's not the AFF, right? It's the Kolkata police, or sorry, rather the Bidhannagar police. So don't put the blame on the AFF. The AFF does a lot of things wrong, does a few things right, but they're not to be blamed for everything which goes wrong in India, in Indian football, right? So on this front, it's not the fault of the AFF, and it's the Bidhannagar police. Someone who can go both right back and say, "Yeah, Rachit, that's something I agree." And no, I don't rate Pratik Chaudhuri. No, it's not our quality of a player. Survivor says disciplined gym, academy gym. There are players like Jamie Vardy, even Hazard, who don't give a damn even at 37. Well, that's something that in India somehow has evolved and developed. So therefore, let's wait and see. So I hear that Kiran was also for job and club in Kuwait, but was hesitant and future. Same was said by Smith is still there. How to address this? I don't know if they, again, about Tuni Goswami. I know he had offers from, I think it was Tottenham, if I'm not wrong. I think he had an offer from Tottenham Hotspur, Tuni Goswami at the time. Yeah, players don't want to go abroad, So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. They don't want to go abroad. Mentality, as you say, mentality has to change. Haaland Nongtu is not ready yet to be ready for. Yeah, I think Haaland needs another year or two, and then maybe he could be a replacement. I hope so. Shona says, who knows? We beat Kuwait in Kolkata and we then beat them twice and get beat by Qatar and bottom, and boom, qualify for third round. This is India for anything can happen. Shona, that's the thing, right? I think on one side we all want to, I think that we want Indian football to be successful, but we want the right things to happen as well. And that's, I think, the challenge at the moment with Indian football, that you're not clear if the right things will happen, which would then take Indian football forward. I think that's the huge challenge that the Indian football faces at the moment. But I hope, again, as I always hope for the best. And yeah, even despite all these traveling times. Do you think fans will still go to stay after Afghanistan if we start boycotting it? Raj, we are talking about it. People are talking about it. This whole boycott thing, maybe some people will not go. Other people will go. There will be thousands going to the Salt Lake Stadium for the Kuwait match to support India. Believe me. what in district schools and colleges should we do to improve students' attention in football? Pratik, I think you need to have sports as a focus in schools and colleges. That's the first thing, which I feel needs to happen and which doesn't exist in India. So if that happens, that would be a big change. But otherwise, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think a lot of things need to happen to change the perspective when it comes to India and sports. And yeah, so therefore, I hope that that we are able to do things the right way. So therefore, yeah, hope we do what is needed for football in India to be there, to be successful. I think that's something which need to be, and schools and colleges are a very, very key thing. Do you think Diaz and Aguero were effective in Bangalore as they were in Mumbai? I actually don't know. Let them go to BFC first, and then I'll let you know how I feel. Let the whole team come together. If you win, should we be overjoyed? Believe that we are on the right path. Sorry, Shyam, please clarify that. A little confusing. I have a feeling that people may continue here for one more season and then leave next season as a free transfer. Let's see what happens. Sir, thanks a lot for taking our time from a busy schedule and educating us. Thanks, Ishan. Always doing that. Will we ever see all Indian squad winning ISL, Pratik? No, I don't think so. So schools and sport is still there in district, also called district champion, but in city it's only reserved to elite school and not to other small urban school. Yeah, that's something, so therefore that's something which needs to come. Which are best sports universities in India? Pratik, sorry, so I wouldn't and there are multiple universities now, but I wouldn't know which is the best sports university in India. In India win should be overjoyed justice. Hashem, we should always, whenever India plays and India wins, we should be happy. Again, the situation around the team is not the best and not the nicest. That's a big problem at the moment. But to me, I will always support Team India, but I'm not happy with the things with the coach and what is happening. So therefore, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Well, where did that go? Musa, thanks a lot. But I'm also a big fan of your work, so continue it and let's spread the word about Indian football. I think it's good. If you're not, those of you who are watching, please follow Playmaker India and support Musa as well. And we need to grow the community, so that's good that you've come along. Show says I'm currently posted in Malda, Dipur IOC in Malda district of West Bengal. In Malda, nobody talks about football, and it's a shame that nobody knows single player name of national team. Yeah, it's a reality, I think, in large parts of India, I guess. I salute all people out there supporting Indian football. It's really hard to be a football fan. I've personally experienced it. People laugh. That's life, yeah. Now do you know about Ankit Bharti, who plays in Colombia First Division, Santa Fe? Yeah, I've heard about Ankit, but I don't know where he's playing at the moment. So if he's playing in Colombia, great for him. Good for him. Is it true that in order to be Indian football contributor, one needs to be financially strong first? Indian football topic just takes time, but really gets something in return. Rachit, I think to me, anyone who's thinking to make money out of Indian football and Indian football, not, difficult, very difficult. I have, whatever I've done, whatever I do, it's not about making money. I'm rather spending money and time, and I just like to do it, right? So that's for me, it's more of a fun thing. So if I would be doing something commercially, most probably I would be doing something totally different. Spending the time different, we'll say. Malikarjun says, I see Satya as only person qualified in that position, did good in Kannada. Yeah, let's see. So therefore for me, he's been doing a lot of good things in Karnataka, structured the football in Bangalore first, and then across other districts as well, and then at state level. So yeah, he's done a lot of good work. Pratik Apathy speaking, suppose you're head of grassroots and youth development head, what are the drastic changes and measures you would take and implement? Uh, uh, I think to me, the most important thing is the quality of coaching needs to improve and the competitions. You need to competitions running for 8 to 10 months. Those are the two basic things. If you rectify them, a lot of things will fall in place in the mid to long term. So more and more people are moving to urban India. How can we provide kids with playing field and space without parents paying loads of money for turf or academy? Free spaces in an Indian context or even in a large city context around the globe is a problem. So pay to play is, I think, the only way out. All the creators of Indian football are doing this out of passion. No way they can do it as a profession. Yes, that's a fact. That is a fact. Particularly Arunbhai, as Indian kids are coming to Germany, do you have any plans to get insights for us? None are coming at the moment. Um, I would love to, but again, we don't have. If you look at the talent level we have in Germany, even at the lower levels, and I've had teams. This weekend is again Pfingstturnier and at SK Hackenberg, which is very, that's grassroots football at across levels, but we're not competitive at that level, right? So we've had PIFA coming over, we've had the German Football Academy coming over in 2016, 2019. We were not competitive. Musa asking an overall review of grassroots in India. I know it's barely there, but your point of view. Musa, I think to say it's not there would be wrong. I think there's a lot of football happening, but it's not. It needs better structuring, and we need structuring in a way that grassroots at one end get as many kids to play. The more kids we get to play, the better. And then at a local level, you have to create pyramids in the sense of that you're filtering the best kids, the best teams through the system. And then you go from district to, inter-district, and then you go region, and then you maybe go state, depending on the size of the state, and from there you go to the national level. So therefore, for me, so to me is, it's very, very difficult, and it's a huge challenge, but I think we need to, again, as I said, I think we need to improve the coaching, and we need to massively improve the competitions and the number of matches the kids are getting. And, age fraud and other things also need to be weeded out. Why the authorities don't feel shame? Just look Indonesia, what they did in Asian Cup. Yeah. So you have to ask them. Sorry, that's not for me to answer. Good night, Ceci. So yes, Rachit, good night to you as well. But food construction is only around Bangalore, and we from other parts don't have anything. Feeling good and bad simultaneously. See, the point is it's growing. I think I've heard that in other districts, so to me it's something which has grown, but it will not happen overnight. So they're trying to do that stuff in Karnataka, and it'll hopefully, let's see where it goes. Announcer in Germany, let's say a class of 16 age of playing football is more than 50% at least amateur wise. I would no, they're all amateurs. 10 to at grassroots level, players are amateurs. I mean, under 18, under 21s even are amateurs. So this, and they're not professionals. Kids can't be professional footballers. So that doesn't happen. So yeah, that's another reality. One more scene is okay, Raj. That's what you had. 1 hour 33, and again another longer Q&A than I thought it might be. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining in. As I always repeat, even those who are now watching maybe the show, not live but deferred, subscribe to Arunfoot here on YouTube, subscribe to Arunfoot on other social medias as well, and do support me, and leave a like under the video, please. Leave Leave a share if you think you can share it with friends. If I've answered a few of your questions or questions from others as well, which you think that can be shared, and do so. Also, of course, visit Arunfoot, and watch my other videos. I've been doing quite a bit on a daily basis, and whatever other people are saying, I will always say, do support Indian football. Do support Indian football, even in times like these. Indian football in these times needs your support more than ever before, and better times will surely come, and that's my wish. So therefore, again, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to that 1,000. That's what's written down there. That's my first target, and then we'll increase the number, and you get more people involved in these conversations, and let's spread. Pratik, thanks. I'm trying to do my little thing, whatever I can, whenever I can, with inputs, but also trying to speak about development and other things. So therefore, that's my aim, and hopefully we can have better times. And therefore, once again, thanks a lot for following me and my work, and I'll be back very, very soon. Good night, everyone.